back when we said we wouldn't be back. So we're liars as well. We're back to put a lot of shit to right. And where better to start than with our mate, Gabe.
I am so happy you guys are back. I love this. I love it. How could I not be here for your comeback? I love this.
I'm not sure we are.
Well,
So people who watch you will be either.
to begin with, number one, the recruiting and the talent pool. And by re-recruiting the same people, we're not bringing new ideas. You re-recruit someone from AV, you're going to have a battle of, I always did it this way at my old place. You're not freshening up the thinking.
It's a problem. People can't get out of their own minds. They want what they know, what they're comfortable with, because they're afraid to change. They're afraid. It comes down to people. At the core of everything, it's people. People are the problem. You have this people that they hire, that they put in charge, and they hire more people that are like them. It's why you see like a circulation of people. When everybody's like, man, why doesn't things change? How long have we been talking about this? 20, 30 years. I've been an audio engineer for going on 28 years. I've been in the AV industry 22-ish years. It's the fucking people. Excuse my language, but it's the people. It's the people.
Why do we just keep recruiting the same old?
I can't answer this question. I've worked for like 18 companies within 10 feet of us.
And you don't know.
Oh, you have to have, senior level sales executive. You need to have X years of experience and know X, Y, Z. And half the time we wonder, well, why are we not getting the talent that we need? And it's because that doesn't exist, or they're already hired. But for that
AV's
matter,
as an industry, we rely on the relationships. So a lot of people know everybody, and so there's not a huge amount of movement in the group of people that know. So anybody that coming into it, I think, find it quite difficult to sort of get in and start to build those relationships. You don't tend to see, who's the next up and comer, who's the new one. So
to me, especially with the industry moving so much to IT, why aren't we looking at some IT people, which you have two right here, who've spent time in IT, and there's a bunch of others within our small Twitter group,
yes,
the AV Tweeps, who have spent time in IT. But why aren't we looking outside?
I guess it's easy, isn't it? I mean, there is an element of the old boy network or the old woman network or the old whatever network of people just tend to...
We know
the old person network, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Be politically correct. But there is that element of, people move around with people. That's,
The ones that move are normally the worst, because the ones that are good stay.
Well, yeah, again...
I would disagree with that. I've moved a little bit in a few years.
It's interesting.
Okay, maybe it's my UK
basis changing.
When you look on
they don't want to see people. Well, not that I would do anything technical anyway. I'm dangerous with a plug. So, not that you want to see somebody like me walk in, because the client base is different now. In the old days, the people who were the facilities manager or the AV, director or whatever, I looked a lot like me. Sadly. And really sad.
It's the same in technical.
We need to wait
though,
5 or 10 or...
Don't wait. You've got to be doing it now, right?
Yeah,
and I think with everything that's gone on in the last two years, with the pandemic, with the supply chain issues, it's actually a great opportunity. I've always...
But, who are we recruiting? My experience is that 90% of the people, technology-wise, simply came in at some level. They were either a musician, or they did the job
rock and roll
at university,
yeah.
And they just moved up, and they got to a point at the university where they couldn't go anymore, and they slid over to another company. There's not many people who actually come here natively. I mean, I came into a university.
Yeah, but the recruiting outside of the industry,
before then.
it's not great, right? It's not great. It's not great at all. I didn't know this industry existed until I stumbled in there from live events, and I stumbled into live events because I played music live, and I had a soundboard, and somebody gave me speakers, and I put it all together. Right? That's how
many
the character arc. The character arc is the same. It's very similar. It's a little off, but it's similar, and so you stumble into it, and so
you could sit there and say, I know that person has moved from job to job to job because that job wasn't right. Something fundamentally went wrong, but that person is bloody brilliant. But you also can pick half a dozen people off straight away that are just being found out every single time, and it's the same person that goes right. Like, of course he's got another job.
Yeah.
Of course she's
done the 18 months now.
But is that not a case? Because the CV now looks great. Then it's an easy option. we're
AV
getting
is an industry where it takes, especially in sales, where it takes 18 months to find out that you're crap.
Yeah.
Move on.
That is
It's
the
like
thing.
being a football manager.
In sales particularly, right? People who sell a lot get promoted into management roles, and they're not always suited for that. They may not always want
Totally-
that. Engineers who like run companies and project managers and sales, and that honestly comes into like an identity of the company. Like that gets built into that
Oh,
culture.
absolutely, 100%.
How much do you think we're limiting ourselves by just going round the merry-go-round?
I think it has the potential to be catastrophic if it's just that merry-go-round of the same people at the top level, and then
For Richard,
It's
do we
about the
need
role,
to-
though.
yeah.
I think it's about the role, right? Because okay. So, within AV, right? So obviously, I work for a big hardware company. We have competitors. Some of them have overlapping products. If you need a sales rep in the Midwest because your guy quit, retired, whatever happened, whatever, it's so easy, and I know it's a bit lazy, to go look at your competitive going, who do I know that works up there that's got the same relationships, that knows the dealers, that knows the big end clients.
Yep.
It's
It's
lazy.
laziness.
Yeah.
But it's hard, especially in the sales role, right? So what you'd want to see is you'd want to see sort of a farming system where you're bringing your inside sales people up and getting them out into the field. And that's a good place to start. And we've done that a couple of times, and we do get to the point where a competitor will come in and go, I know that guy on the inside, he's really good, or I know her, she's fantastic. I'm going to get her in my field because I've got an opening. It's just about timing at that point. But,
At some point,
you're
it's
right.
you.
Being a
people.
salesperson, if you're in charge of recruitment, just take a punt and stop recruiting people just on that CTS. Look past the CTS, look past the AV knowledge, look at their sales skills. CTS doesn't ask for a PO, and I'm going to kind of stop it there.